Yeah, democracy doesn't work for them unless it's them that are winning. They use the same arguments against Trump in America. Vote for Trump, democracy will be over. That same argument being made, by our Australian visitor this week. It's completely outrageous. But since then, it's got worse. The Labour conference now, literally, my name appears in almost every single sentence on the stage. It is totally obsessive. It is abusive. They have absolutely sunk to the guts.
Welcome back to Bashed Bonkers Britain, and today, we're crossing continents for a political storm that's lighting up both London and Canberra. Nigel Farage has just unleashed one of his most explosive tirades yet, calling Australia's Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, narrow-minded leftist, who flat-out refused to meet him. The studio gasped, headlines flared, and
throwing around the racism word and all the rest of it. And what it tells you is that this is a Prime Minister who is on his last legs. This really is the very last throw of the dice for his own survival as a leader. And they're throwing all of it at me. Do you know what? I think they're making the biggest mistake of their political career. Because if you think that people who want controlled borders, if you think that people who want illegals deported, if you believe that philosophy is racist,
through the UK, but sees the Labor Party leader, goes to their conference, I'll get to that, talks to Kimmy Badenoch, the leader of the party you're going to...
Social media caught fire. But what's really behind this international feud? Is it just Farage being Farage? Or does this clash reveal something much deeper, a brewing ideological war between global populism and the left-wing establishment? It all started during Farage's Australian tour, a media blitz meant to rally supporters, draw crowds, and test the temperature of populist sentiment abroad. But instead of handshakes and headlines, Farage claims he got stonewalled. Albanese, he says, wouldn't even entertain a meeting. And that, according to Farage, speaks volumes. He represents a left that only accepts democracy when their side is winning. Farage blasted on live TV, drawing instant parallels between Australia's Labour government and what he calls the elitist mindset of Western liberal leaders, from Washington to Westminster. Farage wasn't done. In his trademark mix of fury and theatre, he told viewers that the same political playbook is playing out in the UK right now, with his name, his message, and even his image dominating the Labour Party's conversations. My name appears in almost every single sentence on their stage, he said. Totally obsessive, totally abusive. For Farage, it's proof that the establishment can't stop talking about him, even as they pretend he doesn't matter. And to millions of his followers, that's not a complaint, that's a badge of honor. But let's pause. Is this really about one man being snubbed, or is it symbolic of something far bigger? Albanese's leadership has long been under the microscope internationally, managing alliances with the US and the UK while keeping his own voters happy back home. Yet Farage's criticism cuts differently. It hits at the character of his leadership, accusing him of being dismissive, closed off, and allergic to debate. If true, that's not just political optics. It's a challenge to the very idea of open democracy. And with Australia's federal election creeping closer, that perception matters. Farage is effectively framing Albanese as the poster child of an insulated, left-knows-best, elite, the very image populists thrive on attacking. For Albanese, ignoring Farage might seem smart politics. But silence can sometimes speak louder than rebuttal, especially when your critics know exactly how to weaponize it. Of course, let's not forget Nigel Farage lives for confrontation. This is a man who has built his entire career on poking the political bear, turning controversy into currency, and spinning rejection into relevance. So when he calls out Australia's Prime Minister as part of a global, democracy only when we win, club, is it a principled stand, or a perfectly timed headline grab? Because make no mistake, this could also be Farage testing international waters ahead of his next UK political move. Still, beneath the noise, there's a question worth asking. Has democracy really become conditional? Are world leaders only willing to listen to the people when the people agree with them? Farage's words strike at that uncomfortable nerve, the idea that dissenting voices are no longer debated, just dismissed. Whether you love him or loathe him, he's tapping into a feeling many voters across the West quietly share, that the political class has stopped listening. So what happens now? Does Albanese fire back? Does he stay silent and let the story burn out? And does Farage spin this moment into global momentum, proof that his populist fire still burns beyond Britain's shores? One thing's for sure, this isn't just a spat between two men, it's a snapshot of where democracy stands in 2025. Fragile, divided, and louder than ever. What do you think? Is Farage exposing something real, or just playing the media like a fiddle? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, subscribe for more unfiltered political analysis, and as always, stay curious, stay informed, and stay skeptical.